Hi everyone. I know that you tend to see me behind my writing and my words, and I was really encouraged by my good friends to try webcam after numerous emails from a lot of my followers asking for advice or for just some tips, and a lot of them were asking for more of that verbal or that face-to-face interaction. Unfortunately, many of you guys do live far away from me. I do live in Los Angeles, so I've been able to connect with a few people, which has been really awesome. And again, remember, I'm not a psychiatrist, a therapist, or anything. I'm just, I would say, a friend to you, and I'm going to give you honest advice like I would with any of my other friends. And a lot of that's just because I know how hard it is when you're going through a situation and you're alone. So I hope that this is beneficial. Again, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. I'm not really good behind camera when it comes to speaking because I have a very raspy voice. Anyhow, so my topic today that I decided I would focus on is going to be called The Ghost of a Good Thing, hence the background music. And I'll kind of go into why I chose that topic in a little bit, but I hope that this helps you. Feel free to send me an email. You guys all have my email on my website if you have some feedback or any ideas for my next vlog. I'm going to try to do this at least once a week and answer some of your guys' questions. So I'm going to be reading off of my notes so that I don't lose track. So if you see me looking over here kind of lost, just bear with me again. So again, like I said, I wanted to focus on the ghosts of our past. So I noticed that this week, two of my friends, one a guy, one a girl, both in two different relationships, were struggling with what I like to call the ghosts of their past. And that's because things that were going on in their previous relationships were coming up in their now relationships that they have with their new spouses. And I noticed that we all tend to do that. We want to move on and we want to start fresh with these people that we begin new relationships with, but we have sudden flashbacks or reoccurrences of things that remind us of our exes. And sometimes those things are things we really, really do not want to remember or we really want different. I'll give you a quick example. Let's say that you're in a relationship with someone who was very verbally abusive and you grew such fear and hatred towards that kind of tolerance that in your new relationship, when your spouse may have said something that reminded you of that, even if it wasn't verbally abusive, in your eyes it was because of what you've gone through. It's very hard for your spouse to understand that, and it's very difficult for them to see that you were right or who's wrong, right? Because who's to say who's right or wrong about how you feel? So I just wanted to talk about that, and I like to call these things a post-traumatic stress disorder moment, and I think that I like that word, the PTSD, because it's the most similar. You know, you have a flashback to a negative occurrence and it triggers you to have memories, flashbacks, upset feelings, any kind of negative reaction and result of a traumatic event that has happened to you. So yeah, like, you know, it can be being cheated on, being abused, being left, ignored, abandoned, whatever it is. We tend to automatically run in fear of this happening again when we feel something similar to it, because it brings us back to a time we don't want to be in again. So I always have to ask, like, when do we ever stop making decisions based on the present or the future without reflecting on what was and what happened and what didn't? We are always going to make our decisions based on things that have happened to us, whether we like it or not, whether we want to or not. Subconsciously, we will always have those memories and things help us, and ultimately they do, and sometimes they unfortunately hold us back. And I'll give you an example. My own experiences, I would say my PTSD has been, as of now, trust issues with some friends and spouses because of what has occurred to me in the past with them. I've been kind of learning a lot of things about not expecting things from other people the way you would do things. I've learned that that leads to disappointment. But one of the biggest things I realized is that, you cannot base your experiences all the time on other people. Just because it happened to you before doesn't mean someone else is going to do it. Um, and it's kind of unfair to the person, and it's very unfair to you. So, it seems like many opportunities seem to get lost because of the things we fear, like to lose, such as things that were stolen before, let's say pride, reputation, our time, feelings, and trust. These are all things we'll never maybe fully get back, maybe never get back, or maybe enough of it was taken for us to always be cautious now. So sometimes it's a goal that was never achieved, like marrying that person. We felt cheated out on because we invested so much energy and time into something and it just didn't work out. And I've come to realize that, if it's meant to be, it will. And it sounds so cliche, but it really is the truth. I've just left my trust in that, and that's one of the things I would say that has helped me with my struggles when things occur or when they don't, and I feel stumped, like, why me, or why isn't this happening, or why did this happen. I kind of just have accepted that whatever is happening to me right now in this very second is a part of my journey, and it might not make sense right now, and that's okay. It'll make sense down the line. So that's helped me a lot, I would say. And I'm gonna change the song. Sorry, it's driving me crazy. Don't mind me. Okay, gonna go back to this song. But so anyhow, we tend to fixate on negative endings that we never pursue, even because of our fears of falling, failing, or losing. So we wrap our minds up so much before it has even occurred that we cheat ourselves out on future relationships or even careers because of what had happened to us in the past, right? So I realized that the only person who is losing is us. At the end of the day, no matter any situation, even if you felt like you were the one that got lost, you were left, you were cheated on, ultimately you're the one that's winning. You have gained information and value and knowledge that not a lot of people have because of your situation. Your situation is so unique and your feelings are so your own, your experiences with it. So, just hear me out on this. Regardless of how many tears you've cried or situations you've been in that suck, you are still here, right? So it sounds funny to say that, but truthfully, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. And I've heard that time and time before, but it's never made more sense till now. Because things that I thought would genuinely almost hurt me and kill me because of how badly my emotions were hurt, have only made me a stronger person and a better human being and more cautious of how I treat other people. I don't want to ever hurt someone the way I was hurt, if that makes sense. So, again, the ghosts of our past are not always ghosts. They actually tend to follow us and be with us. They're almost like demons, I would say. So we're all battling our past today, whether we want to agree or we don't. For whatever it is and what it's done to you that's held you back from potentially a different outcome. Try to give hope that again, that it didn't kill you and it's gonna make you stronger. So maybe that embarrassment and pain and anger that you felt inside was undeniable and unexplainable, but not many people have felt what you have, and it's hard for them to understand that. And not many people were in your mind or in your heart during that time in your life. So you have to kind of sympathize with your spouse. They're trying to sympathize with you to understand you, so you need to sympathize with them when they're not getting it. It's unfair to them because they don't know. So regardless of what happened causing you to hate, blame, or fear things that have happened to you before, just know that you're here and know that you are now in control of controlling the things that had happened to you, in a sense of taking them, learning from them, and not letting them control you anymore. So how are we supposed to do that? Ignore the thoughts that have controlled your everyday decisions subconsciously, whether you want to think that they do or not. How are you supposed to let go of what happened and live for today? A lot of me is wondering, is it possible just a matter of going with the flow? Maybe. Not really sure, to be honest. I would just say it's just a matter of not predicting the outcome and giving people the benefit of the doubt despite what has happened to us before. So, for many reasons, we might imagine that the ending to any situation, um, we might, not even acknowledge that might have might have just happened anyhow. That was our destiny and it was going to happen either way. But sometimes we ruin a good thing before it even has time to blossom because of our fears. So it's almost 2016, and I know it's always, that time of year where the new year comes and we want to start fresh and we want to run away from the things that happened to us the past year. And I just want you to know, it is a great time to start fresh as far as making your goals achievable and making new amends and being a better person altogether. But just know that these ghosts are there and you can choose to see them as good or bad people. You could see the things that happen to you as, taking over you, or you can see them as lessons learned. And that's what I think they are. I think they were all lessons, and you have to praise them almost and appreciate them for what they did for you. And, we want to all leave what has held us down, but things will continuously pop up and remind you of what happened, and that's okay. So when they do, don't get angry. Don't let anger take over you. Feel sad, that's okay, but I just don't want you to ever let what people did take control of you, because it's not fair to you and they don't deserve that. They don't deserve your hatred. They don't deserve your time or care anymore. Things that we only understand and see and feel shaped us, and everyone has their own experiences and everyone will have their own PTSD to these moments. So these are reminders that unexpectedly appear, are hurtful memories to us because they're things that we've lost, left behind, or have felt. But, the only person holding you back is you. Sorry, I'm reading my notes so I don't lose my spot. But, so at the end of the day, if you were to let go of the ghosts of your past, I think that you could close a lot of doors to a past that has held you down for so long, and you can start fresh. And that's a new journey. But I don't know if it's always possible to do so without taking that information, if that makes sense. I think that sometimes our ghosts are good things, because if they weren't around in the back of our minds, maybe we'd make the same mistakes and fall for the same people and take the abuse. And, life might be tough for a while, and it's maybe a battle we have to fight, but it might just feel like the end to you because you've been fighting so long these invested feelings to find something new. And maybe you're just at a point where you are capable of moving on, so you will, because life moves on. So just consider it. Would you want to let go of the ghosts of your past? Is it holding you down? Let me know. Thank you.